I'm Andrew Sherman. I'm a Texas transplant who has always been in pursuit of art as a career. I've played in bands, pursued an acting career in Hollywood, but I found it behind the lens of a camera here in Dallas, Texas. I was born in New York, I've lived in Chicago, Los Angeles, Austin, but I love Dallas. There's a magical artistic scene in Dallas that mostly goes unnoticed to the outside world. This podcast is focused on what makes it so special and the people who make it thrive artistically. If you don't live here, and even if you do, you might not have heard of them. This is the Dallas Famous Podcast. So who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're all grown up? This week on the Dallas Famous Podcast, we're talking with Matthew McNeal, a singer-songwriter and fixture in the Fort Worth music scene, and the first ever winner of the Jambaloo Album Prize. From his start in small-town Texas to building a career that's taken him across the country, Matthew's been making his mark with his heartfelt songs and his own label, Matte Black Sound. He's also co-founded Roadrunner, a leading independent production company in DFW. Matthew is a super sweet guy, and I know you're going to like this. Here it is. The Dallas Famous Podcast is supported by the Mullen & Mullen Music Project. The Music Project was created by Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm to champion the independent music scene in North Texas. Welcome back to the Dallas Famous Podcast. We are here at Tucker Art Projects in Deep Ellum, and I'm sitting with Jambaloo winner, Matthew McNeal.
That's me.
Yep, yeah, you're a musician, but you also have a record label, you have a production company, I would say you're a Renaissance man, but like, it's funny because like normally, I mean, they go hand in hand, but normally you're not on both sides of the stage, so. Yeah.
I wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, you do. Well, let me start by congratulating you on the win for Jambaloo.
Oh, thank you.
I had not heard of you before that, but I'm glad that you won. And I was, in the first take of this whole interview that we did, that's never going to be seen by anybody. I was talking about how I was talking to Paul Shalata, who was, also a contestant, and he was like, "I am so glad that Matthew won. He should have won because he's the most community person in this contest," and that seems to be the case. So yeah, welcome to the show.
Oh yeah, I love Paul. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, we went through your list of stuff. Tell me the name of the label and the name of the production company.
Yeah, the record label that I co-own and run is called Matte Black Sound Company. I do that with my best friend, constant collaborator, Andre Black. Though the band is just under my name, Matthew McNeal. There's more things going on behind the scenes than just me doing it. But yeah, Andre Black, Matthew McNeal, Matte Black. So Matte Black Sound Company is a record label, and Roadrunner Production Services is the production company.
Okay, cool. Let's start at the beginning of your story.
Yeah.
As a young lad, you moved to Terrell in fourth grade, and that's where you first started playing music?
Yeah. I picked up drums first, and you're like, look, okay, we can't all play drums. So I was like, cool, I want to play guitar. Let's start a band, do whatever. And so I kind of like picked up guitar around age 12. And then I was like, let's make a band, probably when I was maybe 13, whatever. But yeah, I came up doing that, just kind of making it up as I go or as I went. And kind of never looked back.
How many drummers were there in your little circle?
A lot of it was... small town, there's around that age you start to be like, okay, look, the school band's doing its thing, and it's like, all right, you can try out for whatever you want. And I was like, I want to do drums, and of course my friends wanted to do drums too, so we just kind of had our own little network.
Everybody. Yeah, I remember too, like the drummers, like the real drummers and then the band drummers, it was sort of like you start to fall off a little bit with that. But and so you're making music with your friends. What kind of music were you kind of getting into listening to at that point?
It was kind of whatever was on, like whatever was kind of popular at the time. It was really nice because around that time, so it would probably have been 2004, which I think was a great year for music. I mean, that's Hot Fuss from The Killers, that's Aha Shake Heartbreak from Kings of Leon, and I loved everything. I didn't come from a musical home in like a playing sense, but my mom always loved music. Music was always on. And so, I loved just kind of trying to noodle along with anything else going on. But really what I cut my teeth in was like the punk and hardcore space.
Interesting.
So yeah, it was a little bit of like I found the like local kind of church world opened a door because it was a place to connect with people that cared about music. You know what I mean? Be it in like the worship space or whatever, they treat music differently. It's like, yeah, this is important, and they believed in youth, and so I got to kind of do that and collaborate with people through the kind of church world, small town church world, but then at the same time help kind of do this DIY collective where we would just use MySpace to book a bunch of hardcore bands and punk bands and metal bands to come through our small town and play in this like little DIY shop we were a part of. So
Right.
I loved it all.
I was gonna say, like, I didn't go to church. I don't think there was a lot of punk in church, but it seems like it was the first place a lot of people played music on stage.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that opens the door and starts a conversation for a lot of people. Whether you stick with it or not, I think it's a really special place for, younger folks to, regardless of the theology behind it, you can find community and even the concept of community and, play music and meet other people playing music, because it's not like, as soon as you pick up a guitar, they're like, well, here's a Facebook group to join where, it's like
Right.
you find it naturally.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, especially you're saying you're in a small town, and that's like a way to know who the other musicians even are, and okay, so, and then you got a gig at a peach orchard.
Yeah, I would work at there's a popular peach orchard in Terrell called Ham Orchards.
Okay.
And I would work there during the summers. And that actually would be the thing that opened the door for me to enter the production space. There's a gentleman coming in to pick up peaches, come to find out they were for Aerosmith. But we took a liking to one another. He was like a rock and roller, long hair, ponytail. Nobody went up and talked to him, so I did. And we hit it off, and he came back like a week later to buy some more. He knew I played music, and he was like, why don't you come see what I do for work? And so I skipped school for the day. I was 17. I was underage. Don't tell anybody. And I worked for John Mayer during the Battle Studies tour. And that was the first time I did production work. And I saw it like, you're in catering with John, and you're watching the show side stage, and you're like, oh, man, this is cool. This is a little different than the kind of DIY shows we're throwing back home, but I want to figure this out.
Right.
That opened the door for me.
What were you like doing, like specifically at that job?
For that one, it was production runner.
So you just go and get like whatever someone needs, or
dropping off dry cleaning at the spot, or like going to get after show food for the band.
Okay.
It's.
Were you? I mean, you weren't like a Mayer fan per se, right?
Oh well, no, I was.
Okay.
I mean, I was just kind of open to anything that was kind of
right. But it was like
action.
mind blowing. Like
it was pretty wild being from a small town, and like we're 35 minutes outside of Dallas, and I'd been to hitching rides to come to these punk shows in Deep Ellum and stuff, but like it was probably the first time I was ever within 5-10 feet of somebody that is like international superstar.
Sure.
And that's kind of, you're in catering in line and you hear a voice and you're like, oh, you're right there. Okay.
Right. Yeah. They have to eat too. It's funny how that works.
But not that, I don't know. It's not that I didn't know anything, but the world was a little smaller. The internet wasn't just as wide open as it is now. So it's like, that was so foreign to me, but what a cool thing. It's like, man, we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It was really cool to get to see. And I think that kind of flipped a switch in my brain of like, okay, there's ways to navigate the music space outside of what I know to be true of reaching out to, post-punk bands on MySpace to come through town.
Did that I guess influenced your approach to your own band, just doing the production stuff?
Yeah, I think it showed me that there is an ecosystem and an industry that surrounds the music world. And you can involve that as much as you want. Even with what we do with the production space, I think you can either show up and do the gig and get out of there just like normal gig work, whatever, or you can kind of keep your eyes, ears, and brain open to be like, look, okay, this may be the biggest tour in the world, and I may be doing van tours or whatever, but what are they doing that works? How can I distill that and make that work for me? And I think just kind of having that mindset just kind of changed my perspective and would open doors for me. That's, you could probably accredit some of starting the record label and doing what we do, this like DIY thing, but done the right way. I think maybe that comes from what I had seen through the production space. And of course, I wouldn't have, co-founded this production company without getting into that world. No one even knows it exists. People go to a show and they think the stage just appears and the band was here, and then they just teleport to the next city. And it is very different than that.
Yeah, no, I think it's invaluable for any performer to work some production, or because you're right. Like, people have no idea, and like I was saying earlier, I did a lot of production work and extra work in LA, and it's like when you're at home and you're watching TV, you're like, it's all about the acting, and then you get to the set and you're like, the acting is this much.
Part.
It's very important, but
of course,
everything is important. That's the point. Like, everything, like none of that happens without everything before it going on.
100%.
And so to have that perspective, like, I did not have it early on either. So like, it makes, I feel like there's little things that you're like, well, that's not something we need to worry about. Like, there's bigger fish to fry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a really special thing for me. I think it helped shift my perspective to view everything I wanted to do in a different light, and showed there's more opportunity out there if you just kind of open up your kind of frame of reference.
Right.
Yeah.
So back to Terrell, the Adelaide.
Yeah, the Adelaide.
So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, there's a gentleman named Mark Nichols. He was a little older than we were. He had like a music shop in town, but he and a bunch of us that kind of played music were like, let's turn this into like a venue on like nights, weekends, whatever. And so we just started. We didn't know it was like this DIY culture thing. We were just like, cool, we want to do shows, and we love heavy music, extreme music, whatever you want to call it. And we're in this small town. There's not really a space for that.
Sure.
And so, we just started to reach out to bands through like, MySpace and stuff like that, friends of friends. And we would just host these shows. And I mean, it was fun because a lot of it was heavier music, like hardcore and punk and metalcore and stuff. But we would grow into these mixed bills to where you'd have like a singer-songwriter opening the night, and then this kind of like just like true punk band, and then this metalcore band. Like it was fun. It just showed that community can be built through music, and that music is the great connector, and you don't all have to be making the same sound to speak the same language.
Right.
And that was just really cool. And I mean, Andre and I were both part of that. And so, I mean, I think that started when, I was probably 14, Andre's 13.
Were you doing like scream or punk? Like, what was the sound of your band?
Yeah. So the first band I was in was called Westmore, which is also the name of the main street in Terrell. I was the youngest in the band, and just older guys that I really liked. And it was, now I guess if you're getting really down to it, you'd probably say it's like metalcore. At the time I called it hardcore. It's hardcore. But like, punk music, it's
like
certainly more aggressive.
Or were you singing? Like...
I played bass.
Okay.
And so, the front man was on the aggressive
I'm
side.
just trying to imagine you screaming as a lead singer, but I guess that's not what you were doing.
No. I was, I played bass in that band. And then shortly after that, I started a band. We were more in like the pop punk world. And I actually fronted that band, sang and played guitar. And our, small claim to fame was we did have a little bit of traction on MySpace or whatever at the time. But we were voted to play like the Vans Warped Tour like 2 days after I graduated high school.
Oh, wow.
So we got to do that in Dallas, which was fun. And that was a fun thing to do and to be a part of. And the whole time we're doing all this, my mom's like, you need to do your own thing. And, she was right. So I did that as well.
Right. So then down the road a little bit, you go to Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
You moved to Fort Worth. that was for school first?
Yeah, so I graduated high school from Terrell in 2011, and I was really fortunate through grants and scholarships. I got to go to college essentially for free. I graduated in like 3.5 years, and I think I was out of pocket maybe like $3,000, which is huge accomplishment.
Crazy, yeah.
I'm an only child. Neither of my parents graduated from college, so that's something I'm really proud of. And I moved to Denton for a year at UNT, and then I transferred because I had a friend that was making music, had some studio gear. I moved kind of between Arlington and Fort Worth, and I did that and got my degree in business marketing. And rather than doing music like everybody told me to do, or like, oh, you do it. It's like, I'm a punk kid. I know how to do music. I'm doing all these shows. I want to figure out how to like have a life surrounding it. But yeah, so that's kind of what got me in the Fort Worth area. And yeah, I've been in Fort Worth proper for like a little over 12 years.
Okay.
And yeah, I just love the community.
And I mean, it's great. I mean, like I get jealous of how together the Fort Worth music scene at least appears from here, and there's like great music and the music office.
Yeah.
With Tom. What's Tom's?
Oh, Tom Martins.
Yeah.
I mean, he is he spearheaded so much stuff for Fort Worth. I mean, working with the Texas Music Office, developing Here Fort Worth, which is like the music initiative. I mean, they give grants to artists to go leave town. I mean, what an amazing thing. No other city is doing that.
Yeah.
And it takes a village, and it's really cool because Tom was just a big catalyst for a lot of positive things. There's so much rich history in Fort Worth in the music world. Same with Dallas. And, it's not even though Dallas and Fort Worth are different, I see DFW and North Texas as a whole is a community. And I think a rising tide raises all ships. Fort Worth doing great is good for Dallas.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you have people like Tom and the people out there. It's a really special thing to get to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. So Andre came up at the same time as you, or a little bit? Okay.
Andre and I, we grew up in Terrell together, and so we've known each other since middle school.
Okay.
And he's my right hand man, my platonic partner in crime. We've done all this together, even though it's my name. It's really at the core he and I.
Right.
We run the label together. We're two of the three owners of Roadrunner, the production company. And we've just kind of been doing this thing together the whole time. He's in Fort Worth as well.
Yeah, so you guys get to Fort Worth and you're in college, and then you kind of start playing up in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll skip ahead. You're playing gigs, you're touring a little bit, and what was the catalyst for making a label?
Yeah, well, it's funny. Our take early on was rather than doing like developing ourselves in the local world in Fort Worth, we were like, I want to tour and travel and see what's going on. And little did I know it would broaden my worldview so much from growing up in a town of 10,000 people. So I mean, right after I graduated college, we'd hit the road, and we were doing 150 shows a year, coast to coast, independently booked. And through all that, not just the meeting people and learning just from doing, we realized there's more to it. There's more to what we do than just making music and being musicians. So yeah, we were like, it really came from, there's a record called Good Luck that came out in 2018. Right before that, we were shopping it around with a bunch of music industry friends. And, most labels, they're not going to touch something unless it's going to generate money. I get it's a business. But, we're essentially a nobody. We're this like indie band. And people liked it, but they're like, I can't do anything with it. And I remember I got off the phone with him. He was like, man, I don't think we're going to be able to help you out. I was like, cool, no problem. Hung up the phone. There's like a little pond thing by my house, and I don't run, but I put on my shoes. I ran. I don't know what led me to do that. But as soon as I got back in, I called Andre, and I was like, let's just start a record label. Let's do it. No one's going to rock for us the way we rock for us. And so that was 2017. And that would house everything that we do, from the Matthew McNeal kind of whole catalog, all boils into that. We also have a bunch of studio gear, from booking and just connecting with people. We were like, this can be the hub that everything kind of falls into.
Do you have other bands on the label too?
Yeah, we do. And, again, rather than operating like a bank, it's more of a connecting hub where, we help artists. They don't have to be signed to our label to get our, aid or whatever. It's like really people want to get signed, but in reality, they just want to tour. And if they want to tour, I'll open my book to you. I'll show you how to write the email. If you're like, well, I really just want to record, cool. I'll show you all the great studios and who to talk to. Or I want to figure out how to make a band. Okay, well, let me connect you. But yeah, we've got a handful of artists on the label, and it's really just people from our team and, stuff we believe in. Right, so whether that's connecting with how to press to vinyl, how to tour, how to, do anything, we just try to have a little home team that we rock for.
Cool. Okay, so it's interesting because like you're not a label that's looking for bands, and you're like, it's just bands come to you essentially.
Yeah, I think just from building our own thing in the industry, both locally, regionally, and even at the national level from touring, we have friends all over the place, and we try to just be, when people think of North Texas, I like that in the kind of DIY and independent space, and even beyond that, our name is in the conversation of like, we'll get hit up like, hey, I'm coming through town, do you guys want to play, or do you know who would be a good fit, or who should we hit up? And we have all this information anyway, so why not share it and build a community and bolster this scene that we believe in? But yeah, I mean, we don't like scour the internet for bands and stuff. Sure. It's really just like, people come to us, and if it's a good fit and makes sense with our ecosystem, why not? So we just, for example, signed Molly Donnell, a Fort Worth artist. We just played our show in Terrell, hometown, for the first time in like 10 or 12 years a couple days ago. And we had her out to open, and it's just amazing. The people you meet along the way, it makes the story so special. Yeah.
Talking about that Terrell homecoming show, that was like your first show there after winning Jambaloo. Did you feel, did the audience treat you different, or were they just already behind you? Or
it was really cool because, coming from there and not getting to be there so much. Yes, we play in Dallas, play in Fort Worth, but, small town, they're not going to drive 35 minutes, whatever. Getting to bring something special to them and to see that a community that's not like a player in the game of like Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, whatever, that they believe in it, and they saw like the hometown kid do something really special and follow my dreams and pursue it, and make a community proud. It's rad, man. It was really special. We felt a lot of love in the room, so that was nice.
Awesome. Also, I have to call it out. It's cool. It's like my mic stand is slipping. You're a production guy, and you're just like nonchalantly. I've had non-production people like let the mic slip all the way over, and they don't even notice. So like, I appreciate that.
Hey, man, it's all part of it. Nothing new under the sun.
Right. Well, speaking of the production stuff, so you the way I understand it is like for a long time you would tour, and then when you came back you would take the gigs that were being thrown at you.
Yeah.
And then eventually you made Roadrunner. So like how did that come about?
Yeah. So Roadrunner, there's three of us. There's myself, Andre Black, and our buddy Ed Witt. We had all been doing this production stuff.
Is Ed a musician?
Ed has been in the like DeepL music space for a long time. Okay. He's not a musician, but he's been in that world. Gotcha. Like, okay. From the Gypsy Tea Room days and everything.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he was really well connected and had the idea to kind of start it. We had been doing this and like kind of doing our own thing under another kind of company's umbrella. It was all cash under the table, whatever. But we knew that's not how it needed to be. But Dickies Arena was opening up in Fort Worth, and we knew there was no one providing like a runner service, the service that we all did. And so we're like, well, why don't we just start our own thing? So we did that in 2019. We started Roadrunner. And of course, 2019, we did great. And then 2020 was not as easy. We essentially just kind of had to hold on and not make any money or do anything for.
I'm gonna throw that mic stand away after this podcast.
Hey, no, it's okay. Give me something to fidget with. We held on, and we were like, cool, it's going to be fine. I believe in this. And as soon as COVID was over, we bounced back with force. I mean, it was nuts. I mean, we do right now probably 300 to 350 shows a year.
Wow. Not just Dickies, obviously.
Yeah, no, we do. There's a handful. We do a lot of the production stuff for Dickies Arena, Toyota Music Factory, House of Blues, Echo.
It sounds like you're like on the Live Nation circuit, kind of.
Yeah, we are like independent, and so we do work with everybody from your Live Nation to your AEG to your independent promoters. And, you know, the whole ethos is putting people in the music industry, from production personnel to artists to photographers to videographers. Like, when you get off tour, you don't have to go work at CVS. Come do some gig work with us.
Wow.
I'll treat you well. Who better to do this gig than you?
So people watching, can they hit you up? Like, can I give you a link at the end for that?
Oh, you know.
Or not?
I think they're going to anyway.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's a lot of people.
So much of it is just built from our network and kind of world that we've built, where there's not a lot. We're one of the only runner companies in the country,
right? And
so a lot of that is just done by being so involved in the community. We kind of know who we can depend on for something like this or trust, because it requires its own set of skills. You have to know how to talk to people. You have to, you know, be a good fit for this world. But
I mean, it's funny too, because like back in the day, I did a lot of production assistant, and like you didn't have the internet as a resource to find stuff.
Yeah.
So but still, it's still an art form to find random stuff, especially in Fort Worth, I'm guessing, at certain things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's professional problem solving. And, you know, we get to, we'll travel for some of these larger, like, stadium shows. And, you know, we were out in Lubbock for a really big show a couple months ago. And, you know, that's a whole different world. They don't have all the same resources. It's still a big town. Right. But, you know, you don't have these production houses that have, you know, LED wall stuff or whatever. Right. And so it's a new thing every day. Every show is a different deal. Every touring camp has its own thing. But yeah, we just try to, from the smallest rooms to the biggest venues in the country, we try to be able to provide for them and take care of them and build our own community through it. That's kind of bringing our own music industry ecosystem to a place that's not LA or Nashville or Chicago, New York. Right.
That makes it more challenging for sure. All right, let's get to the music.
Yeah.
First of all, again, congratulations. I thoroughly enjoyed your show.
No.
It's the first time I saw you live. And I guess Andre's on drums.
Yep.
And you said he co-writes with you as
well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're really in this thing together. I don't think, not that anybody's really asking, but I'll just tell you like it is. Every song under the Matthew McNeal catalog, none of them are just me. It's all me and Andre.
Oh, cool.
It's just how we have done things. I mean, none of what I do is possible without Andre. I mean, he does so much behind the scenes, and, you know, the band's my name, you know. But yeah, he and I do all the songwriting and production together. Of course, now we've made the band bigger. The guys are all involved. It's a very like family deal. But for the longest time, Andre and I toured as like a power duo, because that was the thing.
Oh, wow.
There's no money in it. I mean, it's harder now because post-COVID, everything's more expensive. Some of these venues have gone away. But for the longest time, we were like, look, we had a van, we outfitted it and kind of turned it into our own kind of tour bus where there's bunks and everything. And we'd hit the ground running. We'd be gone for 6 months. And essentially, he would have played drums. I would split my guitar signal to a couple guitar amps and a bass amp. And we would perform as if we were a full band. Not because we didn't, you know, want to have people playing with us. But, I mean, how do you afford? Yeah. That's more mouths to feed. That's more people to pay.
The more compact you can make it, the easier it is. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what we did for years and years. And it wasn't until after COVID that we really, aside from like special one-off shows, that we would open it up to have a full band full time.
Okay. I just now had this thought, like, was he the drummer that he got to be the band drummer, and so that's why you moved off, or way back in Terrell, like you guys?
Oh, no. So it's funny. Andre's a year younger than I am. And so it's really funny because we would play together at church, but in the like production and music venue space, he was essentially like the stage manager for this DIY spot. Oh, okay. And he would play in other bands, but we didn't play together. we interacted together all the time, but we didn't perform together then. It would really come when I was like, cool, I want to do the Matthew McNeal kind of career. And he was the first person I talked to, and it was a no-brainer.
Right.
But yeah, he's the best, man.
Cool.
He's best drummer, best songwriter, best dude. That's my brother, for real.
Nice. Okay, so now, besides having the opportunity to be on this amazing podcast, what other opportunities has Jambaloo allotted you so far?
Oh, man. It's been really cool because so much of what I've found in the independent space, you do a lot of amazing things, from touring all over the place to recording at these really cool studios and meeting so many great people. So many of the like victories are subjective, where you're like, well, let me show you how doing this tour is a big positive for us, or how cutting this record or meeting this person was a big positive. But this is something that was a definitive win. It was like, look, the finale of this whole chapter was someone had to win, and it happened to be us through the votes and belief of, the panel of judges and the community.
Yeah.
And, not that it's something I like have to have, but it's validating to be like, yeah, I've been doing this since I was a kid, and I'm not stopping. Whether we won or not, we'd keep doing the same thing.
Sure.
But it's really cool to be like, wow, look at what we've built. This community rocks with us because they believe in it. They believe in the record, the music that I make. I think the person that I am and the way I kind of move through the space, Andre as well, in this industry, in this scene. It was cool to see it come together and have an objective win. And, that's opened a lot of doors. We've done a lot of press over the years for records that come out, but, we've gotten to talk to a bunch of people, both people we've known for a long time and people like you that I'm very familiar with, but we've never gotten to connect. This has kind of been the thing that tipped the scale to be like, hey, we rock with this guy, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, the exposure thing is everything. I mean, because there's so much competition for music online, and even like this DFW scene is incredible.
It is.
And so to be singled out in that way is amazing. And, for those people that don't know what the Jambaloo Music Prize is, it is essentially $20,000 that you can do with whatever you want. It's not like Pepsi Cola where you have to go and like shill Pepsi now.
Yeah.
Nothing against Pepsi, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you get to just be Matthew McNeal, like elevated essentially.
Yeah. It's really cool because Jambaloo, I've really believed in that mission from the jump, because they brought like a free week to North Texas. We've done, from the first year they did it, we've been a part of that, bringing, a bunch of really great shows to North Texas. And, it's not free. Like, the bands are all doing it for free. I mean, they were getting really great bands to come in and play all over the place.
Yeah.
And taking care of it and covering all the tickets for everybody.
Yep.
They didn't have to do that. The Mullen and Mullen Music Project. And I'd known Connor Dardis and Corey just from the scene. And so I've believed in it from the jump. And so it's such an honor to get to represent what they do. And I think it shares a similar ethos to what I do and what the Matt Black Sound world does. Yeah, I mean, the $20,000 is amazing. It gives you breathing room. And it's not like it goes to my personal bank account. It goes to the Matt Black Sound pool where, that allows me to pay my band right. Like, it's a non-negotiable. To continue to do what we do, to just allow us to be ourselves and be creative without, having such a tight, squeeze like it's been since I was 14. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a really, really special thing.
Honestly, having had a chance now to sit down and talk to you, you are like the perfect person to win because the community thing is such a component of your whole organization, your life, your philosophy. I feel the same way about the community, and it's cool that you won, and congratulations. And thank you so much for being here. We're going to have you play a song.
Yeah.
Tell us what it is, and then we'll do the
Yeah.
follow-up.
I'm going to play a song. It's called All for Nothing. It's from our record from 2020 called Good Grief. This is the first song that really helped kind of move the needle for us. KXT really rocked with it. And I thought that'd be a fitting one to play with you guys.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming down. We're going to keep an eye out. We'll put links to everything in the show notes, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much for having me. Sometimes it feels like I'm wasting my time, losing my mind, all for nothing. When I think of what's in my head all the time, oh, I'm lost inside, all for nothing. Time after time we come to find that if it's not right by now, then it won't be right. Not we that your help marry me. You can have me all to yourself, oh yeah. Are the things that make up your mind? Did I make up my mind all for nothing? Well, are you gonna just leave things be, or leave me behind all for nothing? Time after time we come to find that if it's not right by now, then it won't be right. Are you gonna stick around and tough it out, try to get away somehow? 'Cause I've gotta know, am I part of your plan? Wanna leave and find yourself, or are you gonna be my man? Oh, I don't know. Wish I could figure you out, but you're so proud.
I'd like to thank Matthew McNeal for joining us today. You can check out all his stuff in the links. Thank you to the wonderful Tucker Art Projects Gallery for allowing us to record there. Theme song Unstoppable by Salim Narala, and the outro is The Place to Be by Electric Ants. Thanks again to the Mullen Music Project for their support. Like, subscribe, and share the podcast, and we'll see you next week.